Howdy, guys. So Mizkiff is back in the headlines again, and at this point, I'm starting to think his content calendar is just schedule controversy every quarter. Because every time you think the dude is finally chilling, something pops up and everybody collectively sighs, like, yeah, that sounds about right. But first, let's talk about what sparked this whole new wave of chaos, because Mizkiff decided the best way to handle his own controversy was to start more controversies. Let's start simple, because Twitter loves making everything confusing on purpose. Mizkiff is being criticized for how he handled a sexual assault allegation involving people in his circle. He's not accused of committing the act himself. The controversy is about what he did after the allegation came out. The question everyone's asking is, did he help downplay it, cover it up, or influence how the situation was handled to protect friends and the brand? And if you're thinking, okay, that sounds complicated, yeah, it is. But the core issue is simple. When something serious happens, do you protect people or do you protect the truth? That's the entire controversy in one sentence. Now, instead of addressing this properly, Mizkiff decided to go into what he calls demon time. And yes, he actually called it that multiple times on stream. A grown man in his 30s saying demon time unironically while his chat spams KEKW. This is the level of self awareness we're working with here. So, what is demon time exactly? Apparently, it's when Mizkiff decides to expose other streamers for their controversies to deflect from his own. His first target, Tectone. He went live and claimed Tectone lost a court case involving a protective order, accused him of viewbotting, and basically said he's got dirt on half the Austin streaming scene and he's coming for everyone. Now, let's be clear about something. Even if everything Mizkiff said about Tectone is 100% true, it doesn't change anything about his own situation. That's not how accountability works. You don't get to point at someone else's mess and say, but what about them? When people are asking you questions about your own actions. That's textbook deflection. And the internet sees right through it. Here's the thing. This situation isn't new. People have talked about it before. But recently, new clips, messages, and timelines resurfaced, and suddenly the internet realized the story wasn't as clean as everyone thought. When people started lining things up, certain explanations didn't fully match the actions. Certain decisions didn't align with the narrative given later. And when you need 10 disclaimers to explain one decision, people stop trusting you. It's not even about guilt at that point, it's about credibility. And Mizkiff's response to losing credibility, go on the attack, expose other people, make it messy for everyone, turn the whole thing into a circus so nobody can focus on any one issue. It's chaos as a defense strategy. Mizkiff's biggest enemy is not drama, it's his mouth. Every time something serious happens, he does what every streamer does. He goes live immediately. He starts reacting, explaining, defending, clarifying, emotional venting, half apologizing, half justifying. And listen, I get it, streaming is his job. But live streaming through a serious controversy is like vlogging your own therapy session and expecting people to think it's private. When you're emotional and on camera, you're not being strategic, you're being reactive. And reaction is how you dig deeper holes. The Tectone situation is a perfect example. He went live, pulled up screenshots from 2004, yes, 2004, claimed they showed viewbotting, and spent 30 minutes doing this cringe demon persona while his chat ate it up. But here's the problem. Even his own viewers couldn't tell if the screenshots were real. The formatting looked weird. There were questions about authenticity. And instead of providing concrete, verifiable evidence, he just kept saying, I'm a demon, I'll destroy you. That's not exposing someone. That's theater. Let's actually talk about what Mizkiff claimed, because this is important context. He said Tectone lost a civil court case and got a protective order against him. If true, that's serious. But Mizkiff presented it like Tectone was convicted of a crime, which is not how civil cases work. A protective order doesn't mean criminal conviction. It means a judge decided there was enough reason to keep someone away from another person. That's very different from what Mizkiff was implying. Then he showed screenshots, allegedly, proving Tectone bought viewbots. The messages showed someone asking another person to purchase bots and disguising payments with house emojis on Venmo. Sounds damning, right? Except the screenshots looked sketchy. The formatting was off. And most importantly, even if they're real, it still doesn't answer the questions people have about Mizkiff's own situation. This is what I mean by deflection. He's hoping if he throws enough dirt around, people will forget to ask him the hard questions. This is important. The internet reaction this time is different. Nobody's really screaming, cancel Mizkiff. Nobody's organizing boycotts. Nobody's trending hashtags. Instead, people are just tired. The vibe is like, why is he always in something like this? Why does this keep happening around the same dude? Why does he always make it worse when he talks? And that's dangerous. Outrage dies in a week. Fatigue kills careers slowly. Think about it. When people are angry, at least they care enough to be emotional. When people are tired, if you're tired, they just stop watching, stop engaging, stop caring. And that's where Mizkiff is headed if he doesn't change course. If this was the first controversy, nobody would care. But Mizkiff has a history of messy situations, emotional responses, long streams explaining everything, partial accountability, then repeating the cycle. At a certain point, it stops looking like bad luck and starts looking like a personality flaw. Remember the Emiru situation? The one where he allegedly had compromising information about pets or something and only brought it up when he needed leverage in an argument? That's a pattern. Holding on to information not to do the right thing, but to use it strategically when it benefits you. And now he's doing it again, saying he has dirt on everyone in Austin and threatening to expose people one by one like it's some villain arc in an anime. Bro, you're 30, not 13. Mizkiff isn't just some random streamer in his mom's basement. He's a co-founder of OTK. That means every time he steps in drama, everyone in that org gets dragged into it. Sponsors get nervous. Creators get asked questions they didn't cause. Fans start associating the brand with controversy. Even if the rest of OTK did nothing wrong, they still catch the heat, and that creates internal tension whether people admit it or not. Look at how Asmongold responded when asked about the situation. He basically said no comment and moved on. That's not because he doesn't have thoughts. That's because he's probably consulting lawyers and trying not to get pulled into Mizkiff's mess. That's what happens when one person in an organization keeps creating problems. Everyone else has to tiptoe around it, manage the fallout, and hope it doesn't sink the whole ship. Streamer culture is built on loyalty. Ride or die friends, defend your circle, protect the squad. But here's the problem. Loyalty becomes toxic when it overrides accountability. When something serious happens, the correct response isn't, how do we control the narrative? It's, how do we handle this properly? And that line gets blurry when your friends are your coworkers, business partners, and content collaborators. Mizkiff keeps framing his actions as protecting his friends. But protecting friends doesn't mean covering up serious allegations. It doesn't mean downplaying situations to save face. Real friendship means holding people accountable when they mess up. It means doing the right thing, even when it's hard. And from the outside looking in, it really looks like Mizkiff prioritized protecting the brand over doing the right thing. That's the core of why people are upset. Of course, once Mizkiff started this whole drama explosion, other streamers jumped in. Hassan immediately started calling Tectone a generational rapist, based on the court case, even though it was a civil case, not a criminal conviction. That's the kind of reckless accusation that could get someone sued, but Hassan doesn't seem to care. XQC chimed in basically saying nothing good comes out of Texas and dunking on the entire Austin streaming scene. And you know what? That's the problem with this approach. When you create chaos, everyone with an existing grudge sees it as an opportunity to pile on. Suddenly, it's not even about the original issue anymore. It's just a free-for-all where everyone's throwing shots at everyone. That doesn't help anyone. It just creates more noise. The internet is different now. 10 years ago, you could explain this away and everyone would move on. Now, people are older, viewers are more cynical. They've seen too many Notes app apologies and I'm taking accountability streams. People want actual behavior change, not content arcs. They don't want to see Mizkiff go demon mode and expose everyone. They want to see him take responsibility, make genuine changes, and stop being in the center of controversy every few months. But instead, we get theatrical callouts, vague threats about having dirt on everyone, and this weird villain persona that nobody asked for. It's exhausting to watch, let's be honest. Mizkiff somehow manages to turn every controversy into a live podcast episode. The dude treats serious allegations like they're just Twitch just chatting topics with ads enabled. He'll be like, guys, this is serious, while chat is spamming KEKW and someone donates $50 asking about Pokemon cards. It's like watching someone explain a legal situation while their sub alert goes off with a fart sound. Bro, timing. And the demon time thing? Come on, you're a millionaire streamer in Los Angeles. not an anime protagonist preparing for the tournament arc. Saying, I'm going demon mode doesn't make you intimidating. It makes you sound like you've been watching too much Naruto while ignoring the actual problems in your life. The fact that he genuinely thinks threatening to expose people makes him look powerful is wild. It doesn't make you look strong, it makes you look petty. Like a kid on the playground saying, I know something about you and I'll tell everyone if you don't leave me alone. That's not adult behavior. That's not professional behavior. That's drama channel behavior. And you're a business owner. Act like it. Here's what nobody's saying out loud, but everyone's thinking every time Mizkiff does this, he loses a little more credibility. First controversy. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Second controversy. Okay, that's concerning. Third controversy. Why does this keep happening? Fourth controversy. At this point, where there's smoke, there's fire. People aren't even debating the facts anymore. They're just pattern recognizing. And once you're in that territory, it's almost impossible to get out because every explanation sounds like an excuse. Every defense sounds like deflection. Even when you're telling the truth, people don't believe you because you've cried wolf too many times. Here's what actually kills careers in 2026. Not cancel culture, not drama, not Twitter threads. It's loss of credibility. Once people stop trusting you, every apology sounds scripted, every explanation sounds defensive, and every controversy sounds predictable. And predictable drama is boring drama. You know what's worse than being hated? Being boring. When people hate you, at least they care. When people are bored of you, they just move on. They find someone else to watch, someone who isn't constantly in drama, someone who doesn't make everything about themselves. And that's the trajectory Mizkiff is on right now. Imagine if Mizkiff handled this differently. Imagine if, when the allegations first came up, he took time off, got proper legal advice, addressed everything clearly and honestly, made genuine changes, then came back when the dust settled. Instead, he went live immediately, got emotional, said things he probably shouldn't have, then doubled down when people questioned him. Now he's in this cycle where he can't stop because stopping feels like admitting defeat. So he keeps going, keeps creating drama, keeps deflecting. But here's the thing, you can't outrun your own reputation. Eventually, all the deflection, all the demon time theatrics, all the exposing other people, none of it matters if you haven't dealt with your own issues first. At the end of the day, Mizkiff can do whatever he wants. He can expose whoever he wants. He can go full demon if that's really what he thinks is best. But the question isn't whether he has the right to do it. The question is, does any of this actually help? Does exposing Tectone make people trust Mizkiff more? No. Does threatening the Austin streaming scene make him look better? No. Does any of this address the original concerns people had? Absolutely not. All it does is create chaos. And chaos might get views in the short term, but it destroys reputations in the long term. The tragedy here is that Mizkiff could have been better than this. He had the platform, he had the resources, he had the opportunity to handle this with maturity and grace. Instead, we got demon time, Sabas. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know. You see what I mean? Let me know what you think about this whole situation. And yeah, who should we reality check next?